Contrary to popular belief, investments can be for everybody, as long as you know enough about it. At UOB, we're here to bring you up to speed. My name is Jonathan Conley, and in this episode, I'm going to be talking to you about bonds. So what is a bond? A bond is one way that governments and companies use to raise money. It could be to build roads, create industries, or even develop new products. In other words, a bond is essentially a loan. The only difference is they borrow money from you and me. Here's how it works. Let's say you decide to buy a government bond and you invest $1,000. You then choose a maturity date or when the government has to pay you back. We'll make that 20 years from now. Of course, no government or company expects you to give them money for free, and it's natural that you earn interest on your investments. That interest can be paid to you monthly, quarterly, twice a year, or even yearly, and that interest is called a coupon. So there's two parts to consider when it comes to making return on your bonds. The principal, which is the original amount of money that you lent out, or in this case, $1,000, and through coupons, which is the interest you could receive for taking the risk to lend them your money in the first place. So to sum it all up, bondholders are simply people like you and me coming together to lend money to a company or government. We all know money isn't free, right? So as an investor, you should expect some interest. Remember, that interest is called a coupon. In this part, we'll talk about one of the most important things when considering an investment into bonds, and that is the coupon. To quickly recap, a coupon is the additional interest that you will receive for lending your money to a company or even a government. Now, you may be asking, how do we know what is a fair coupon? And how does a company decide what interest rate to borrow from us at? A coupon can actually be broken down into three key parts: the risk-free rate, the duration, or the amount of time you lend your money, and the credit rating, or the risk of a company or government not paying you back. First, we look at the risk-free rate. This is essentially the rate set by a central bank such as the Federal Reserve, the Bank of England, or even the European Central Bank. This rate is typically used to help slow or even grow an economy. The second part to a coupon rate is typically set around the idea of duration. Now, duration is simply the length of time of the loan, or when the bond will actually mature. To keep it easy here, we can say that the longer we lend our money, we should expect a little bit more interest. This is a big difference in the risk of lending out our money for one day versus lending it out for 30 years. Lastly is the credit rating of a company or even a government. As we know, not all companies and governments are created equally, but the good news is there are companies out there such as Moody's or Standard & Poor's who help us create a report card. A credit rating can range from AAA or very high quality, such as the Singapore government bonds, all the way down to D or default. This means that a government or company cannot pay us back our original $1,000. So to give a quick example, if the current risk-free rate is 5%, and we're buying a bond such as a 30-year US Treasury bond with a credit rating of AA, we might expect a coupon of 6%. Now let's say we're considering a 30-year corporate bond with a rating of BBB. We should be expecting a little bit more than 6%, right? And for the sake of simplicity, we'll call this 8%. So to sum it up, depending on how much risk we're willing to take, we can use the rule of 1, 2, 3 to decide whether the coupon we receive is fair. In the meantime, if you want to learn a little bit more about bonds, please speak to your UOB banker today.